I think we'll be really looking at another very exciting thing, one of like the final things about the routing protocols and stuff. And this happens to be the BGP, which is an acronym for Border Gateway Protocol. So just a little note on what exactly BGP is. You can see that it's a routing protocol of the internet. It directs data traffic between different autonomous systems. I hope that rings a bell. Autonomous system. That was really what we touched on when we were doing eIGRP, right? Different autonomous systems or networks. It functions by exchanging routing information using a policy-based approach to determine the best path for data packets rather than simply the shortest path, right? And it is what really enables the internet to work. That's how you see if you can an ISP can power a group of networks around, and this is how the BGP works. Like from the definition, we made mention of this. BGP router communicates to share information about the networks they can reach. Another thing is the autonomous system is designed to route traffic between different large networks known as you know a set of network or a specific network with all of its configuration and stuff is an autonomous system, right? We also have is a path vector protocol, meaning that it doesn't choose the shortest path like the other protocols, but it makes its decision based on policies and attributes such as network policies, rules, and path information. So it chooses based on the best path, and data transmission enables data transmission when we browse the internet. BGP is the protocol that figures out the most efficient path for your data to travel and stuff like that. And this is another very exciting thing. There are mainly two types of BGP. We have the eBGP, we have the IBGP. eBGP is really that thing that powers external networking. When packets between when a packet in an autonomous system wants to communicate with another autonomous system, EGP makes that possible. And this image here really depicts and defines that properly. Like as you can see here, this is IBGP, which is an internal border gateway protocol. Like we can see here, internal border, you can see this network here, and we can see this right here. This is a separate AS. So had it been there are more routers here, they would all have all of their AS, right? They will have their distinct AS. They could all still be underneath the same 200. Now, what makes these two different distinct autonomous systems communicate is what we call eBGP. And I think this is really base knowledge of what we want to talk about. I do hope that was kind of like enough. And I think it's something we should really try out. I'm tempted to really having some sort of network that could at least look like what we had or had there. And what was that? Okay, three routers like this, three routers like this. So you are always free to like maybe add a switch, add a PC. All of that is still very fine, right? So maybe let me see if I'm going to add a switch here and one PC. So we're doing let's have that connection going on here. I want that side to be 00, then this side can be 01. Oh, this is not going to connect. This is not going to connect. Okay, I think I can leave it like this now. Let's just have this. So yeah, so that I wouldn't necessarily. Oh, Let me just see. You can't. I need to I need to go and set another port, so I don't think that's necessary. Let's just save time. Okay. So let's kind of like let's have like a shape to distinct them. I've never used this circle shape before. Fill color. Okay, this fill color can be blue. Okay, we are having. Okay, we already even have. Let's change fill color to let's see this. This is already like okay. Maybe I'll just give this a yellow. I think this is much better. The blue is kind of like too deep for the eyes. I think we need light colors. Let's bring that up again. Okay, I wanted to use circle, right? I said I hadn't used circle before. So I'm just going to like bring this up here so that there's that distinction, right? So yes, one thing we want to quickly do is just assigning IP addresses, right? So let's take our let's use this. So let's give this point here, say 1 or 201.175.70.50. Let's give it. This one too can be the 30, but let's give this here dot 90. Okay, then network here can be 192 at 168 dot 75 dot 20 19 dot 16 dot 7 dot 1. The both here can be the slash 24 network, right? So we're just going to hop right into our configuration. So this right here is 000, right? Okay. So no enable configure terminal gig 000 201.175.90. Okay, so we're having /30. So what we're going to do here, right, is that this part could have. Okay, I made a mistake, right? So 90.0 network. This is .0 network. So this part here is going to have one. It's going to have .1.1. Then this part here could have .2, .2.2, right? Then the default gateway section could also have .1. So let's work on that. let's give it, we said 90.1, then 255.255.255. This is forward slash 30, right? So 252, no shots. We're exiting, we're getting into the next interface. IP at 201.175.70.1, 255, 255, 255, 252, no shots. Let's leave it at 0, right? Um, okay, so we've configured this. The next is this, to actually have a confirmation. This is 0, right? And this is also 0, right? Perfect. So we want to have enable conf t gig 0/0/0 IP add 201. Let me put this by the side so I can see. Okay, 201.175.90.2, like we made mention of earlier, 255, 255, 255.252. No shots. We are exiting 001. IP at 192.168.75.20, 255, 255, 255, 0. No shots. Okay, we want to do the same for this brother right here. No conf t in gig 000 IP at 201.175.70.2, 255, 255, 255, 252. No shots. Exit 001. IP add. Okay, this is on 19.16.7.1. 255, 255, 255, 0. No shots. Okay, so we are actually done with assigning all those IP addresses. Next thing we want to really get into immediately is the BGP. So how to actually configure BGP? Let's start from this router here. It's pretty easy. We want to exit. I think it is router, yes, router BGP. So one other thing I forgot to specify is the AS. Remember what we said AS is? We said AS is the autonomous system. Yes, AS is the autonomous system, right? So we have to specify their AS around. So the AS for this guy, we can just give this guy an AS of 70. AS 70. We give this right here AS 15. This right here is 92. AS, not 1S, sorry. AS. So like we're entering here. So when we call the BGP, we are going to type out its AS. As you can see, autonomous system number. So AS 70. Okay, sorry, we are not putting that AS again. All we just have to do is type the number. Now we've called the AS. Next thing we want to do, we know that, okay, this is the AS, right? Next command we want to do is its neighbor. Its neighbor, right? That is the address, the IP address that is closest to it, to the next network or next hub, whichever you want to call it, right? So you see, we want to So yeah, we're going to call the neighbor, specify a neighbor router, as you can see here. So we're going to call the IP address of this here. So that is 201.175.70.1 remote AS, like remote the AS, which is 15, remote AS 15. Now, next thing we will do is to advertise our network to this remote AS, to this remote anonymous system. We're going to advertise our network to it. So we're just going to type out our IP address 19.16.7.0, well, the network, right? That's what we want to do. Then we are going to do max. As you see, it says max. Then we'll type out our max 255 255.0. Okay, that's all, right? So we've advertised our network to this system here. And we're going to do the same thing for this router here. We're coming out, we're saying router BGP. What's our BGP, right? BGP 15. And then we're typing out our neighbor, the address. So you see for this router, it has two neighbors. So we're going to call for these two. So the first neighbor we're working with is the 201.175.70.2, right? Which is this address here, 70.2, as you can see, 70.2. Okay, is there any other thing? Yes, remote AS. That is remote AS 70. That's the autonomous system. And as you can see, it has drawn out that adjacency and says it is up. We want to do same for the next guy. This one is 90, right? Same, this is 90.2. The remote AS is 92. If we're not mistaken, 92. Okay, and then we want to advertise our network, all our, so you see there are two networks connected to this guy. So we're going to advertise both of those networks, 201.175.90.0. Then our subnet max 255.255.255.252. We're going to do the same, but this time it is dot 70, and we're done with this, right? Finally, we want to do for this our last router. We're exiting router BGP, our autonomous system. This is 92. Then we're calling our neighbor. Our neighbor, of course, is 201.175.90.1, and its remote system is 15, right? You can see that adjacency has been drawn. Next thing we want to do is advertise our network to it, 192.168.75.0, mask 255.255.255.0. And this is really it. We are actually done with configuring this autonomous system, right? So one thing we can try out is assigning IP address to these PCs and pinging, right? Or let's just assign IP address. IP cont. Let me not. I keep doing so much, so much CLI 19 dot 67 dot 16 dot 7 dot, let's say we want to give this 5. This is 255.255.0. So this is dot 1. The subnet, the default gateway here is dot 1, right? And we want to experiment for these two. IP configuration 192.168.75.20. Now let's give this guy 60. This is your okay. To confirm. All right. So this part is dot 2, this part is dot 20. You can see we have /20 and 30, and we have dot 24. So I want to ping this PC from this PC. Ping. Make sure you walk. Oh, don't try to stress me. Great. And you see, this goes to show that we actually had a very flawless configuration. So I do hope this was pretty helpful. If you have any issues, any challenges, do leave it in the comment section and I'll be super excited to help out. Bye, and see you on the next one.